Hello, everyone, and welcome to Totally Based Game Opinions, where I don't do a review, I just talk about my opinions. And this is for legal reasons to avoid any amount of responsibility for the things that I say. We'll see how that works down the line. But for now, I kind of want to talk about Total War Three Kingdoms. And I'm just going to come out like strong. I'm going to come out swinging. This game's kind of boring. And this entire video is to kind of help myself through the process of talking about why I think it's boring. So, a bit of background. I wanted to get into like miniature games because I was on the computer too much. I was like, hey, let's meet some nerds and roll some dice. So I got into Age of Sigma, and it sucked. No. I think I played Warhammer 2 because it was on sale, and I played it and I loved it. So I got into Age of Sigma to play Skaven, and then it just the rules suck ass, and you have to remember and pour so much money into it. I was just like, ugh, this feels like one of those experiences where you're not in it because you enjoy it anymore. You're just in it because you're too deep. And I'm like, It's the exact reason why I avoided Magic the Gathering, so I kind of tapped out. I did get addicted to different miniature games. But enough of that, whatever. But yeah, so I was like, hey, let's play a bit more of Total Warhammer 2. So I bought all the DLC. Yeah, but and then 3 came out. I liked it. Realms of Chaos sucked. Immortal Empires is still really good. But by God, the settlement fights over and over again, they bog you down. And then I was just listening to a bunch of other creators, and they're talking about, oh yeah, this Total War did this good, and that Total War did that good. And then, lo and behold, Sega decided to have a sale on Steam. So I was like, $200 worth of Three Kingdoms for 75 AUD? Done. Medieval 2 for 20 bucks? Done. Rome 2 for like whatever? Done. And here we are. But yeah. This game's kind of boring. And I kind of want to like go through it. So right now, my entire strategy revolves around having my one dude here seeming weak, and then one dude goes into ambush stance, and the AI just goes like, hey, I'm gonna kill him, comes in, ambush, 2 armies jump, and then kill, because the fights are boring as hell. I don't know if the audio was actually picking up the actual thing, but regardless, let's start off with the good. I think the map. Actually, I'll just talk about each aspect. As you can see, you can have an opinion about the map. Map's big. I've been playing this campaign for, I don't know, 5 hours. Map's pretty big. I like that. Map looks boring as hell though. Like if you compare it to like look, I know that this is a historical game and all that, but you can still make something historical beautiful, like Sucker Punch Studios and Ghost of Tsushima. Like that is a beautiful ass looking game. Look at this. Like I know I'm on the lowest poly because my GPU fried, so now I'm like running it on a integrated graphics card, so it kind of sucks. But still, this looks pretty meh. Like the map seems boring, and the distinction between regions is very fucking confusing. Like half the time, because there's provinces exist, right? Like here, it's like, hey, this is a province, this is a province, this is a province, this is a province. Okay, so now, where is what? That's Huainan, and that's also okay, so this is the province. Like, you see what I mean? It is not clear where the borders start and where the borders end. There's a lot of visual clutter, as you can also see. Just the UI is ugly. I like the art style of like the faces and all that. Like the art style is beautiful, but the UI is not functional at all. Nor are the skill tree. Like, actually, I don't even know where to start. So I'm just gonna start off with the combat. This is already like a complete clusterfuck. But the map is pretty ugly. Trying to understand where regions start and end is pretty difficult to understand. And then fights are boring because they literally boil down to have a front line of a couple melee units, have a couple of like range units, have a bit of cavalry. I will say cavalry is way better in this game and kind of mandatory than in like Warhammer, because I nearly never get cavalry because they suck ass, because range units are busted. But range units don't seem to be as busted in this game. It's a good thing, because archers half the time I'm like, do I even need you guys? You guys seem to be like doing nothing. I just watched a full like six like archers like pepper spray like cavalry, and they like killed one horse, and I'm like, are you what? So range is definitely not overpowered, but even what you can like hire, and I might just be coming from a location of being spoiled, but unit variety is, it's like, hey, this range, it's better range, better range, better range. Just different slight modifications. Like, that's a fire arrow. I guess that's good. But in comparison to when you're playing like Warhammer, like the variety and like how they feel in combat is very different. In this game, half the time I've like played with different type of archers in an army, and I just don't know what the hell they do. Like I can read it. I can't point it. You can read the differences in the stat line on the left side of the thing, right? But this shit means nothing. Like on the actual battlefield, it literally translates to nothing to me. And even melee units are like, oh, this seems more powerful. I don't feel it. The only time that I ever feel that difference is when I go into auto resolve. And that's when I'm like, oh, I put more money, so I should be able to auto resolve well. But the auto resolve, like any total war game, sucks ass. So your units just, half of your army just dies when you're like 300 men higher and have a like diverse like roster of like units, like artillery and all that. So I like literally got to the point where I was getting frustrated fighting the same exact fight where you just line up your men, like your spearmen and like shields, line up your archers behind them, get your cavalry onto the side, and then engage with their cavalry, and then the line kind of bashes, and then you just, if you win with your heroes, and you should because your heroes are busted as hell with their skill trees and shit like that, and like they're boosted ass, like because I'm playing romantic, and even if I wasn't playing it, I don't think much would have changed. And it's just that fight, unless you're a siege battle. Then you open up a little hole in the wall, and then you do the exact same thing over and over again. So like I said, I got to a point I was like, nah, fuck this shit. We're baiting the AI into auto resolve fights now. That's a bit of a pity, right? Because I really enjoy the combat of this game, and that's actually where I'm saying that this game feels kind of boring, because I've never played a Paradox game, but I heard it's like Civ but on crack. I enjoyed Civ when I was young, and I just like to look at numbers going up. That is this game in a nutshell. 90% of what I am doing in this game is getting people, and I don't care about their combat abilities or anything. I'm looking at their traits, and I'm trying to find out how I can make them pump more money for me. So right now I'm emperor or what, like I'm king and about to become emperor after fighting all this, but I just, for whatever. But diplomacy we can go into later. This where is it? Where's the office? Yeah, court. This is heavily expanded out right now, but, and don't mind all of the little things. I just literally got emperor. I was like, oh my lord, there's like 10 more slots. I don't have enough people. Let's just slot everything in. So from what I like experienced in this game, characters will have traits, right? And then depending on these traits, they'll do better or worse, or they'll have different like abilities. So like this lady, she effects from her. The position gives you 15% like industry. Well, we'll go into that later. And then there's like the bonus satisfaction and character experience faction. Why? That's cool. Let's say we kick her out, right? And like, yeah, whatever, get out. And then we put someone else in. They give different sort of bonuses. So what winds up happening is that I'm just literally playing a slot machine where I go into the candidates and I'm like, what traits do you have? I like that trait. Whatever that trait. That's whatever. I like this trait. This is interesting. I will probably purchase her. And based off what types of traits, certain people get along with each other and certain people don't get along with each other. Like this dude. He is cruel. A lot of people, the good gals and boys do not like people that are cruel. He's cunning. They don't like people that are cunning. So it's like I don't even care about what's going on in this stuff half the time. It's just trait farming. Nope. And then you hire them and then you like test them in the position. You're like, okay, who hates you? You're like, is this worth it still? That's that. And like, oh, don't do it. This part is really important because if you notice, some of these bonuses, it's like -2 corruption, and corruption basically means that it seeps out the income out of your cities. And some of these do like massive amounts of bonuses towards like food. Food is integral. And trade. Because like any total war game, if you don't have an economy, if you're in war, if you don't have economy and logistics, your thing fails. So like the top thing that you always have to look into is money. And these games always balance around the idea that, you can't just go for money. You have to balance public opinion, whether people are going to do riots, and like morale and all that sort of stuff, right? So finding the perfect people in here is important. I will say I have never noticed a person defecting yet. And I don't know if it's a thing that happens frequently, but by God, I just never noticed it. Like I said, 90% of the game is just here, just trying to cherry pick the perfect person, like just re-rolling like 1,000 bucks and be like, you suck. Do you work? There's one trait that this person does, like, fuck it. And then, after a bit, like I said, after like 5-6 hours, I'm like, fuck it. Shove everyone in there. And then you completely control a province. I will say this building stuff is cool. Like a building starts here and it branches off into different things, and like this gives more income and food production. But this gives bigger bonuses across like spice, trade influence, and commerce with a little bit more income, while this one gives you higher amounts of food production but lower income, and you don't get the bonuses across things. So you have to like look at the income that's coming in, right? And like 2.1, 1.2 commerce, 251 peasantry, and that's the game. This is the game. You're building things are like, you know what? I think I need a little bit more income. Like I'm getting a lot of income from industry, so I like want more bonuses for like industry. When I do assignments, which you get the guys from this can do assignments based off how many assignment slots that you got, which are busted, by the way, and in a good way, where you're just like, which one gives me like bonus industry? I'm pretty sure these ones. Yep, 75% commerce, 30%. That's all this becomes. Like the mandatory, hey, I'm going to build this one building to increase public order so that people don't want to riot. And then money, peasantry, and depending on the special buildings that you can get in the sub little cities. That's it. It's literally just balancing 3-4 resources. And I know that you could use this argument for anything else, but at least the like Total War, the combat and like the individual hero units and the little quest lines And these things were exciting and fun. And getting you items, they did like cool abilities, like do like hailstorms or like flame tornadoes. And this items literally just give you like a small tiny stat buff, and maybe if you're there in a position of power, you get additional bonuses from that. So most of the time I don't even care about the skill tree when I can just hire more armies and just kill stuff with 2 armies and not give a single fuck about any of the stat bonus, because once again the combat sucks, so I just don't care about it anymore. So what I focus on is the city management part of it, just finding the best traits that I can that give better like overall public like things, reducing corruption, increase like money yield, and then yeah, you just make a lot of money. Like this is unoptimized as hell. This is only after a couple of hours of playing this game that I just kind of figured out how to make money. And this is it. This entire game revolves around the concept of make more money. And I feel like I'm playing Civ, not a Total War game, which kind of sucks. This skill tree, it's beautiful. I think it's one of the most beautiful like tech trees ever. It is like the most ugliest, like in terms of trying to understand what the hell you're looking at, it is useless. Like I have to just individually go in and click. I'm like, I think this is to do with like industry, but half the time it's like, is this trade's not industry? Okay, so I'm clicking on this to figure out. Okay, that's industry. What's this for? Oh, 15%. Okay, Sentinels. Okay. Commerce. This is industry, but it's also giving bonuses to commerce. Like it's not really understandable at first glance, and you just wind up like clicking, and after a while you're like, that's the thing, you just burn out trying to like optimize the money. You're like, have I optimized the money here? Have I optimized the route for money here? Have I optimized the money for like here? Ooh, this is like increasing here. Oh, I should probably get like a guy that administrates for extra commerce. I'm literally playing economy sim manager in this game. And then when in terms of diplomacy, which I think is like the best that I've ever seen, and I can understand why people like they use a 3 Kingdoms diplomacy system within Warhammer 3. You pick a faction, and then you're like, hey, what you want to do? But yeah, there's a lot of options that you can actually do with people. Make them into a vassal. Vassals are actually really useful. Trying to get people to give them their territory in exchange, like this. Wait, what? Let's say for this, for instance, their rating. What can make this work? And you can exchange stuff and all that. Like it's a good system. Like that, like the marriage. I will actually mention that the marriage is actually kind of interesting. I kind of got married to whoever the hell that I could find, just to see what happened. So I got married to this lady, and now I have kids. And apparently these kids can grow up to become characters that you can utilize. And eventually this dude will die, and then one of your kids can become heir or something. Don't quote me on it. I have no clue if that's actually the case, but I just don't care enough anymore to give a shit. So I'm probably not going to play this for a while until I can find someone that can give me good reason to continue playing. Because I tried like to play it again, right? Like I was like, 97, let's play. And by turn 7, I'm like, I'm just optimizing economy at this stage. Whatever. And once again, going back into diplomacy, like, it's good, but like this dude's never going to like want peace, and like this never thing I don't like, which I kind of get. And that's another thing, there's a lot of storylines that are going on here. This opinion piece has already gone all over the place. But at the end of the day, I love cultivation and like Chinese martial art, like cartoons, manga, manhwa, and like TV shows and movies. Like I just grew up with that. I love this stuff. I love Three Kingdoms and like Liu Bei and like Guan Yu and Zhang Fei and all that stuff. I love it. I don't care about it. Like there's story based like effects, like things that come up, and you're like, hey, you want to follow this story? And I'm like, I just don't care. Does it give me more money? And that's the thing that I kind of don't like about this game, because this game focuses so much on, there's so much to do, but all of it boils down to how much money can you make, because it's the only part that's somewhat entertaining to watch, and the diplomacy is purely so that you can basically find a way to make more money. Once again, you can argue that that's what all these games are, but I want interest in combat, and the combat is boring as hell. Getting new units are boring as hell. Finding new faction leaders and like getting stuff from unique characters, it all doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, all you care about is making more money. And then you can just pay off people to stop fighting you, and you're like, oh, just play differently, just do warlords, and then you run out of economy, and then you just straight up die. So like the game incentivizes make money, and once you play it, you're like, this is boring, let's play a different style. And there's only really one style to play, because every other style is just suboptimal way of actually playing it. So when people say that they play this like a couple of campaigns and they enjoyed it and they never wanted to play again, I feel that to my core. Look at this little shit in this corner, right? And I've been trying to unify this dude like forever. Like I am way powerful than him. I can literally just waltz my army in to just kill him at any point in the story. And I continuously was trying to like make him my vassal instead of like shoehorning him, to see that if eventually I could actually get this deal to go through. Nope, he just refused. And the diplomacy system definitely is the best, but like the stories between these characters and stuff don't matter after a while, because once again, you just solve everything with money. If it's not solved with money, you just go in with force and everyone else gets angry, and then you just throw money at them and then they'd be happy. Once again, it's just money. I probably said that like that phrase like 100 times by this point, but that's it. This is interesting, but it really doesn't do anything much. You're just like, hey, can I have more money? What's the better thing for money? Like, this is really interesting and fun to look at, you know? What the hell? That's kind of cool. Like I said, like, there's a lot of cool stuff in this. It's just, I'm playing it, and I don't care about anything. Like, once I reach 10K, I'm like, oh cool, I can build more buildings. I look at this military, like, it just gives more military supplies. Why would I care? I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I kind of want to talk about. I talked about assignments. Apparently there's a spy system. I tried it and I was like, why would I do this? It's a waste of money. My characters might potentially be able to die for mediocre like payback of just viewing a province or something like that. It's pretty lame. It doesn't really do much. So I'm not even like, I didn't even unlock it this playthrough, because I'm like, it just doesn't matter. The imperial intrigue stuff about becoming the emperor. At this stage, it's just unlocked palace guard, but once again, I just don't care. Like, I'll just get 2 armies, which is just cheaper, and it just rolls over. It's just economical. And then I just kill these, raise 2 armies here, push this direction. Once that's solidified, and make everyone around this region my bitch, and then I just move down this way and just done. Like, it's just a slow burn of a game of number crunching. And I think people that like Paradox games or Crusader Kings or like Civ, Like I like those games too, but like I go into those games with that expectation for that game to be this. It's like I didn't play. I'm not playing a Total War game, so I can play a Paradox game. You know. So yeah, game is pretty boring. It's just a glorified like economy sim, which is a pity because I love this setting. Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else that I kind of want to talk about, but yeah, combat's pretty boring. Unit diversity is like you increase in cost, but their effectiveness doesn't really show. They only really show in auto resolve, and auto resolve basically kills off half your units anyway, so you wind up doing the same fight every single time that you're invading. Siege settlement fights the exact same like problem where it's just boring. There's nothing new. I've already burnt out with siege settlements from Warhammer 3, and I'm coming to this, and it's even worse because it's just 4 units that you do the exact same thing with, and then everything just revolves around maintaining like food, maintaining gold, maintaining public order, and just finding like units or like characters that can buff these ratios in the correct way and balancing them across several different regions, and then dealing with them being shitty with each other and potentially revolt, which I never experienced. And these characters that are like so crucial about it, but there's a limit to you looking at this and get excited, right? Like, look at this. The skill tree is not exciting, and once you see it once, you've seen it. The exact same skill tree, with small amounts of like differentiation. That just, at the end of the day, you just don't care about any of this because it doesn't really fucking matter. You just beeline for like something like this that gives you global like public order or global like industry like boosts and stuff like that. And then sometimes occasionally try to maintain their satisfaction and happiness, but that becomes redundant after you get so much money that you can just stop buying shit and then just solving that issue in itself. This literally doesn't matter. Once again, combat's exact same over and over again. And this would be interesting if there was a lot more backstabbing and all that, but the story elements of this game really don't matter at all. Literally nothing changes. And then I think CA basically was like, well, we don't know what to do with this, so they just fucking jump ship directly into Warhammer 3 or 2. I'm like, yeah, there's a game that has everything, it's done everything right, but it's done nothing great. Nothing stands out to me. Apparently, people are like, oh yeah, it plays well. It's like, it doesn't matter if it plays well if it's still boring. Like, I'm making my game, right? And like it's called It's Not a Phase, Mom. It'll probably come out in a year or two. And I'm stuck with a problem where I'm like, yeah, it's functional. It's not fun though. So now I'm like racking my head trying to find ways to make the combat and all that stuff more fun and exciting. About, oh, I got this item, this is cool. Or like, I got unlocked this new skill, this is cool. I got none of that. This is just an economy manager. And I'm sad because I really wanted to enjoy this game. I spent $75 with the expectation to like get like 1,000 hours out of this. I'd be lucky if I got 10 or 20. I will say the aspect of like having armies, like 3 generals in an army, and they can equip and they can have different styles of combat. Choosing who leads, and that changes how that army functions. And at the end of the day, you can separate these forces as individual forces, I believe. Right? Or am I tripping balls? Who am I clicking on? Yeah, there you go. And then I can combine. Like, this is cool. Like armies separating and then merging and then splitting and then fight, like convert, like that's cool, but once again, there's no point of it. A lot of cool concepts that wind up just being redundant. Diplomacy is the best that I've seen, but because combat and everything else is just whatever, it you just don't care. So yeah, I'm gonna stop here because I'm probably repeating myself over and over again at this point. Yeah, Doa 3 Kingdoms. I wanna like, but I just don't like. That's about it. Bye.